For years, the James Webb Space Telescope has been looking deeper into the universe than humanity has ever seen. And sometimes, it finds things that shouldn't be there. But this time, astronomers may have found something even stranger, a cosmic object from a time when the universe was less than 700 million years old. It looks almost like a star. It's incredibly bright. It's surrounded by enormous amounts of gas. But deep inside, there may be a black hole. Scientists have given this strange object a name. MOM BH1. And if researchers are right about what they're seeing, this object could help solve one of the biggest mysteries discovered by the James Webb Space Telescope. The mysterious objects known as little red dots. But here's where things get really strange. This object may not simply contain a black hole. It could be showing us how some of the universe's earliest supermassive black holes were born. And to understand why, we have to go back to the beginning. 045-140. The universe was very different. Imagine the universe shortly after the Big Bang. There were no familiar galaxies like the Milky Way, no Earth, no Sunday, no planets. The universe was young, hot and chaotic. And yet, massive black holes eventually appeared. That's a huge problem. Because the black hole sitting at the centers of galaxies today can contain millions or even billions of times the mass of our Sunday. But where did they come from? How could something so massive form so quickly in such a young universe? For decades, astronomers have been trying to solve that puzzle. Then the James Webb Space Telescope arrived, and JWST began looking at extremely distant galaxies, objects whose light has traveled for billions of years to reach us. What it found was unexpected. Tiny objects, appearing as strange red points of light. Astronomers started calling them little red dots. At first, nobody was completely sure what they were, and that uncertainty created one of the biggest mysteries of the early universe, the little red dot mystery. At first glance, these objects don't look particularly impressive. They're tiny, they're extremely distant, and in JWST images, many appear as little reddish points. But when scientists studied their light, things became much stranger. Some showed signs that enormous amounts of energy were being produced in incredibly compact regions. One explanation was that they contained rapidly feeding black holes. But there was a problem. Some of their properties didn't fit neatly into what astronomers expected from ordinary active galaxies. So scientists had competing ideas. Maybe these were unusual young galaxies. Maybe they contained rapidly growing black holes. Maybe dust was changing the way they appeared. Or perhaps, something completely different was happening. Then astronomers found an object that might provide a crucial clue. Its name? MOM BH1. And this is where the story gets seriously weird. 235-335. Meet the black hole star. MOM BH*-1 was observed with the James Webb Space Telescope as part of the Mirage or Miracle survey. Its light comes from a time when the universe was less than 660 million years old. That's unbelievably early. But the most fascinating part isn't its age. It's what scientists think is powering it. The object appears to be extremely compact and unusually bright. Researchers propose that at its center is a black hole, surrounded by an enormous amount of dense gas. As material falls toward the black hole, it heats up. And when that material releases energy, the entire object can shine incredibly brightly. So from far away, you don't simply see a black hole. You see something that can look almost like a strange glowing star. That's why researchers use the term black hole star. But don't imagine an ordinary star with a black hole sitting beside it. This is much stranger. The light could be coming largely from material surrounding and feeding the black hole itself. And now comes the question that makes this discovery so important. Could these strange objects be the missing link between the first black holes and the gigantic black holes we see today? The black hole problem. Think about the problem this way. Imagine finding a newborn animal and discovering that it's already enormous. You'd immediately ask, how did it grow so fast? That's basically the problem astronomers have with early supermassive black holes. The universe was extremely young, yet some black holes had already grown to enormous sizes. One possibility is that small black holes formed first, and then gradually grew by consuming gas, stars, and other matter. But growing that quickly can be difficult. There are limits to how fast a black hole can efficiently consume material, so scientists have been searching for possible shortcuts. And one idea is that the earliest black holes may have formed inside enormous clouds of gas, creating something resembling a gigantic, temporary star, a so-called quasi-star or black hole star scenario. The black hole could feed from the surrounding material, while the surrounding gas produces the enormous glow we see. And if that process happened in the early universe, it could provide a possible route toward the supermassive black holes we see billions of years later. But there's an even bigger twist. The clue to the little red dots. Researchers studying MOM BH*-1 found something particularly interesting. The object lies close to a young galaxy, and simulations suggest that the two could eventually merge. If that happens, the combined light could resemble the strange signatures astronomers associate with some little red dots. That means something remarkable may be happening. What if some little red dots aren't mysterious galaxies at all? What if we're looking at an early stage in the growth of black holes? A tiny, incredibly bright black hole-powered object that eventually becomes part of a growing galaxy, and over cosmic time, helps build a much larger black hole? Suddenly, those little red dots become much more interesting, because they might not simply be weird objects. They could be showing us a stage in the evolution of the universe itself. But before we celebrate, there's a major problem. Scientists still don't know whether this explanation is the whole story. Not everything is solved. This discovery does not mean scientists have finally solved the little red dot mystery. Far from it. Astronomers are still debating what different little red dots actually represent. Some models suggest actively feeding black holes. Other research has proposed completely different possibilities, including enormous early stars. And that's one of the most exciting things about modern astronomy. A discovery doesn't always give you an answer. Sometimes, it gives you a better question. MOM-BH times -1 may strongly support the idea that at least some of these mysterious early objects are powered by black holes. But scientists still need more observations, more spectra, more objects, more evidence. And JWST is already continuing to investigate these strange sources, so the mystery isn't over. In fact, we may have just entered the most interesting part. The bigger mystery. Because think about what this really means. When JWST looks at MOM-BH times -1, it's not seeing the object as it exists today. It's seeing ancient light. Light that began its journey when the universe was still incredibly young. That means this strange object is effectively a message from the distant past. A snapshot of a universe that no human being had ever seen before. And inside that ancient light, astronomers may have found evidence of a black hole growing in a completely different environment from anything we see today. Perhaps this is one of the missing steps in the story of how supermassive black holes were born. Perhaps it's only one unusual object. Or perhaps there are thousands more hiding in the darkness. And if JWST finds enough of them, our understanding of the early universe could change dramatically. For decades, scientists wondered how the universe could produce enormous black holes so early in its history. Now, they may have finally found a clue. Not a giant galaxy, not an ordinary star, but something in between. A bizarre object where a black hole may be surrounded by enough glowing gas to make it appear almost star-like. MOM-BH 1. And perhaps the strangest part isn't what it is, but when it existed. More than 13 billion years ago. Before our Sun, before Earth. Before the Milky Way looked anything like it does today, something was already feeding a black hole and shining across the newborn universe. And that tiny ancient point of light may be telling us something enormous. The first supermassive black holes may have started growing much differently than we ever imagined. But JWST is still looking. And somewhere in that darkness, there may be another object waiting to completely rewrite the story. Because every time we think we've figured out the universe shows us something we weren't expecting. If you want to see what James Webb discovers next, subscribe because the deepest mysteries of the universe are only beginning to come into focus. And that's where today's journey ends. But the universe is still full of mysteries we haven't even begun to understand. If you enjoyed discovering this incredible story with us, make sure to like the video and subscribe to Space Factor for more fascinating space discoveries, mind-blowing facts, and mysteries from across the universe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Until then, keep looking up.